YouTube's algorithm change on what is advertiser friendly and what isn't on the site as a result of the advertiser boycott that happened earlier this year, and the response to it has led to a lot of video game content being demonetized on YouTube, in particular videos involving guns. So shooter videos have been demonetized almost across the board from all kinds of games. And, I had Mass Effect Andromeda videos being demonetized, Call of Duty, and really it seems to me that a lot of content that has any kind of violence or a lot of blood is getting demonetized. So I'm getting videos from For Honor, Dawn of War, all that. It also appears to not just be involving guns, as people suspect it is, but also military vehicles. So I'm getting strategy game videos demonetized as well. I mean, it's one thing to get political videos demonetized. It's a completely different affair to have a very significant chunk of your gaming videos being demonetized without really any warning. From Forbes by Paul Tassi, YouTube is making it almost impossible to monetize video game content involving guns. Being at the mercy of a single platform you don't control is always a bit nerve-wracking as an online content creator. But many video game YouTubers are now about to throw in the towel completely after recent developments on the site have made it excruciatingly difficult to monetize their content. Without warning, over the past few weeks and months, YouTube has made it increasingly hard to monetize specific kinds of videos on the site, deeming certain topics as not advertiser friendly. The videos stay up, but the ads come down, meaning creators are making no money from views. A lot of the fuss surrounding these new inconsistently enforced policies have been centered on political debates, where there have been a lot of Trump supporting channels pushing back on being classified as hate speech, or doing other things that YouTube finds offensive enough to demonetize. While it seems clear YouTube may be trying to steer its advertisers towards safer shores in an age of increasingly heated political rhetoric, there's been a casualty that has nothing to do with Trump or politics: creators who solely cover video games. There are many theories about how exactly YouTube is demonetizing many gaming videos, but YouTubers who have previously been able to make good money on the site are now seeing their videos demonetized by the dozen. Or hundreds or thousands, really. The common thread appears to be videos about shooters, which is a broad spectrum considering most of the biggest games on the market are in that genre, from Call of Duty to Destiny to Battlefield to Counter-Strike, and then dozens or hundreds more. But YouTube's mysterious algorithm has learned to exterminate ads on these videos with extreme prejudice. Videos promoting epic kill streaks will often be demonetized because of that word, as will guides to various virtual weapons if gun is in the title. But past that, YouTubers suspect that through some sort of AI learning process, YouTube's algorithm is detecting more than just words, but also images of guns in thumbnails or in stills from the video themselves that might be getting searched. YouTuber Total Biscuit recently asked his followers to try different uploads of the same content to see if altering titles or thumbnails would trick the algorithm. And the result was that gun-based content was being demonetized almost immediately, or the results were more inconsistent if it was disguised using innocuous titles or thumbnails. Though I should point out as a YouTuber that you might take that tactic, but ultimately your video will end up demonetized. That you don't get a demonetization right as you upload it doesn't mean that you won't get a demonetization later down the line. So there are videos I've done which haven't gotten demonetized initially, but again get the demonetization later on. But anyway, a Destiny YouTuber with 160k subscribers, Michael Tash, says that he's seen 140 videos demonetized recently. As such, he's ready to switch almost entirely to Twitch and Patreon to maintain his income. His gaming contact at YouTube told him he was aware creators are upset, but there is nothing they can specifically do to help. I told him I was almost 100% switching to Twitch at this rate, and he said to do what I had to do. His income from YouTube has been cut to a quarter of what it used to be, so the transition isn't just logical, it's almost mandatory, and it goes on and on. Also, Paul Tassi has another article talking about how video game companies should step up to the plate and help YouTubers. They probably will end up doing just that, but at the same time, I don't think it's their mess to clean up. I don't think it's really up to Activision or EA or any of these companies to fix this mess. They didn't create this situation. They're not the ones responsible for what ended up happening. Why the hell should they fix it? But it's most likely that we'll have a repeat of the late 2014 or early 2014 situation where YouTube removed content ID protections from a lot of partnered gaming channels, and as a result of that, it was game publishers and developers that ended up making changes to the way they put their content in the content ID system that ended up helping YouTubers. But that means that the content ID system is still broken. And so in this situation, even if you have Activision, EA, and all that stepping and putting pressure on YouTube, it's unlikely that the algorithm will change. Now, in my mind, the best solution probably would be for channels to be able to earn some sort of protected status where their videos wouldn't get demonetized. And they could lose that if, if it's found that their content, if someone reviews the channel and finds that their content is breaking that. That's what I personally think would probably be an ideal solution that YouTube should take. But here's why YouTube adopted this stance in the first place. YouTube adopted it because from the Arab Spring and the aftermath, the civil wars, the various conflicts in the Middle East, since then, social media has been a very powerful tool that various groups have used for propaganda purposes, including YouTube. And when advertisers learned earlier this year that some of their ads were being played on videos posted by extremists, YouTube took action, or rather the advertisers took action and pushed for an advertiser boycott, which affected about 10% of YouTube's revenue overall. Though YouTube's response to that was to crack down on channels pretty hard, so a lot of channels ended up losing a very significant chunk of their revenue. Like I think the figures on average 50% of their revenue. My own revenue went down to less than a third of what it was. That's why I've pleaded with people throughout the last couple of months for support via PayPal and Patreon. And I still plead with people, if you like my content, if you like my videos, please do support me via PayPal or Patreon, because I really do need people's help to continue doing this, because losing a very significant chunk of your revenue when you're already struggling financially has been close to a death blow, like a real serious death blow. And there are people who have lost 90% of their revenue. There are people who've gone down by a quarter. So, quite a lot of channels are in a very difficult position. Channels that did very well up until that point. It's political channels, gaming channels. I mean, it's one thing to affect political channels, though many of them were hurt pretty badly earlier on. But now it's gaming channels that cover shooters and almost exclusively shooters. There's some pretty good channels on the subject of shooters are getting screwed over by the policy change because YouTube overreacted, didn't implement a good plan, and now people are getting hurt. Now, it was infuriating to have my videos on various conflicts in the Middle East being tagged as not being advertiser friendly, even though I'm just really talking and showing still images, not necessarily even involving military equipment, but because I'm talking about certain subjects, not advertiser friendly, can't talk about that, right? But to affect gaming videos because of guns, because of military equipment, because of video game violence, it's ridiculous. It's insane. It's stupid. Hell, YouTube, when it comes to the gaming market, by the way, there's a lot of companies that do use YouTubers to promote their games, that they host events for YouTubers. What, are people that cover Overwatch, are they going to be affected by this? Are people Call of Duty, Battlefront, all that? I got a lot of my Mass Effect Andromeda videos being affected, and anyone who knows anything about BioWare and EA as companies, no, they're not really, that they're pushing a social justice agenda in their game, that and also promotion. So it's like, a safe game that shouldn't be tagged is getting tagged. It's ridiculous. It's nonsensical. It's complete bullshit. And yet this is the situation that people on YouTube are having to deal with right now because of the various changes that YouTube has implemented in response to the advertiser boycott. I don't expect the situation to improve. I don't expect things to get better. And right now, I'm personally seriously considering just putting a lot of effort on Twitch. Because, for instance, recently I did the playthrough of Total Warhammer. Still have a couple of videos to upload on that. But a lot of those videos have ended up being demonetized because Total War Warhammer. It is infuriating. Anyway, Costin here on Serious Gaming signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and as usual, when I talk about this, and I do mean it, please do consider supporting me via PayPal or Patreon, because I do need your support to be able to continue doing this. And I think ultimately things are actually going to get worse before they get better, because they actually have gotten worse. It's one thing to start off with political videos demonetized, then to end up with video game videos demonetized. And finally, here's the thing, it's not just demonetization. It's also searchability. How easy can people find your content on YouTube? How often does your content show up in sub boxes of people that do follow you? Those are also things affected by getting videos tagged as not advertiser friendly. So that's all I had to say.